What's going on, everybody? It's Ndukauba, and today I'm here to talk about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and the mixed reception that it's been receiving ever since we got the gameplay trailer. Now, before I actually get into it, I just want to state, to each their own. If you honestly do not want to give Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 a chance for whatever reason, that's perfectly fine. You are entitled to your own opinion. However, I'm also entitled to my own opinion, and what I'm going to be doing right now is explaining to you guys how Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is not the same as Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, except for one key thing, and that is the core mechanic. Now, I've explained in previous videos how Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 is a skeleton, and what they're doing with Xenoverse 2 is they're getting the skeleton and building upon it to make an even better game. Now, there's been a lot of people saying that Xenoverse 2 is pretty much Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1.5, or straight up Dragon Ball Xenoverse is trash, or there's nothing different between Xenoverse 2 and Xenoverse 1. And again, that's where you're mistaken. Now, again, the only thing that is similar is the core mechanic, and main reason is because if you're making a successive series, you need to have a skeleton so that way you can gather data so the next iteration in the series is better than the prequel. Prime example, the Budokai series. Budokai 1 was a meh game. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. And that was the first iteration, like the stepping stone into console Dragon Ball Z games. However, again, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 was a meh game. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. So what did they do? They gathered data and they made Budokai 2, because Budokai 1 was the skeleton for Budokai 2. And of course, we did see an improvement. And then what did they do afterwards? They made Budokai 3, and Budokai 3 was a major improvement from Budokai 2. And then so on and so forth. They made the Shin Budokai series, and then they made Burst Limit, and then they made Infinite World. But what is it that all of those games have in common? They all retain the core mechanic from Budokai 1. I can give you guys another example if you want, and this one should not be a surprise to anybody. The Tenkaichi series. Tenkaichi 1 was a garbage game. We all agree with this. This is actually irrefutable. Tenkaichi 1 was just blatantly not a good game. It wasn't. However, they still made Tenkaichi 2, and Tenkaichi 2 is a good game. And main reason is because they got the core mechanic of Tenkaichi 1, what worked, and then they built upon that to make Tenkaichi 2, and then of course they made Tenkaichi 3. And Tenkaichi 3 is known within the community as the best Dragon Ball Z game to date. Now, think about this rationally. If Tenkaichi 1 was trash, why would they go to such lengths to make Tenkaichi 2 and Tenkaichi 3? Because they saw something was there. Something had to have worked within the community to sell units so that they can make a sequel. Tenkaichi 1 was just a skeleton. They only made the game as a stepping stone into that series. That's how we got Tenkaichi 2, and that's how we got Tenkaichi 3. Otherwise, if it was just utter garbage and nobody bought the game, nobody gave the game a chance, we would not have received Budokai Tenkaichi 2, and we definitely would not have received the quote-unquote greatest Dragon Ball Z game of all time, Tenkaichi 3. I can go into other games as well. Let's go with Smash Bros for that. Let's just go into Smash Bros. So Super Smash Bros 64, the first game in the series. There it is. Then they used that mechanic, the core of it, to make Melee. Melee is known as the best Smash Bros game out of the entire series. And then we can go even further. They used that to make Brawl, even though Brawl was not that good of a game. But then they used that to make Super Smash Bros for Wii U and 3DS. And those two games are great games. But again, what they do is they carry over the core mechanic into the sequel and build upon it. So it's the same thing with Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2. Because again, guys, I have multiple examples. I can go into Mario Kart, I can go into Kingdom Hearts, and other games as well. But I'm just going to try and keep this focused on Xenoverse 2 and Xenoverse 1 for right now, because I have a feeling I'm going into a tangent. So, what they're doing with Xenoverse 2 is they're taking the skeleton from Xenoverse 1 and building upon that to make Xenoverse 2. So to say that the game is going to be exactly the same that is just straight up not true. Does it have similarities? Yes, the core mechanic is coming back from Xenoverse 1 into Xenoverse 2. However, the game is not the same, and we've even seen it in the gameplay trailer that we just got recently. I broke down 3 mechanics within the game that are completely brand new into the series, and actually just today, one of the squad members, SeeReax, actually broke it down even further and explained other things that are different from Xenoverse 2 from Xenoverse 1. So to say that it's going to be the exact same game is definitely not true. Xenoverse 2 is definitely a different game from Xenoverse 1. However, it did carry over the core mechanic from Xenoverse 1 into Xenoverse 2. But they've already built upon that. They've made adjustments and changes to make the experience of Xenoverse 2 better than Xenoverse 1. So again, in closing, Xenoverse 2 is just taking over the skeleton from Xenoverse 1 and building upon that to make Xenoverse 2 one of the best Dragon Ball Z games that we may receive within this console generation. But if you guys honestly do not believe that Xenoverse 2 is different from Xenoverse 1, let me know in the comment section below, because again, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So again, if you honestly still believe that Xenoverse 2 is the same as Xenoverse 1, let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys actually believe that Xenoverse 2 is different from Xenoverse 1, let me know why in the comment section below. But nonetheless, that is the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at NdukaubaYT. And for you mobile users, if you want to stay updated for all the videos that I upload, don't forget to ring my bell. And as always, thanks for watching. See you guys later.